All right, guys, we are back. New NBA season. And if you were watching NBA opening night and remembering your Peacock passwords, or if you had a Peacock account, then I hope you had a great NBA opening night. And it felt like the NBA was bending time last night. And I would say it's a coincidence, but they controlled their own schedule. So it's not really a coincidence that we had Kevin Durant back in Oklahoma City for him to watch the banner rise up for the first time. And while he plays on his new team, the Houston Rockets. Other than that, the league was back on NBC. I thought it was a very nice presentation overall, and Michael Jordan showed up at halftime briefly for all the old heads and new heads and whoever you are if you're a Jordan fan. And it might have felt surreal at times, and it might have felt completely fitting. The two games felt at times messy, emotional, poetic. Things felt right. A lot of high quality basketball for opening night to be expected from teams that are expected to compete for championships again or make big runs in the playoffs. But the double overtime victory from the Thunder does not mean that it was not messy overall. Rockets and Thunder combined to miss 39 of their 52 threes. Houston grabbed 16 offensive boards, but coughed it up 22 times. And the Thunder won 125 to 124 in double overtime with Alperen Şengün dropping 39 and 7 and getting 9 points in overtime before fouling out. Durant played 47 minutes and fouled out in overtime as well, with uh, SGA hitting some big free throws down the stretch of the second overtime game to secure that win. It seems like Kevin Durant is just ready all the time. It made me think about him coming off of his Achilles injury originally and him being the best at making that recovery and him coming back and seeming fresh when he finally returned and playing on this new team as an older veteran now, playing 47 minutes in double overtime before fouling out, would have played even more than an entire game's worth if he hadn't. Seemed very fresh, just have to get him more involved, which I think involves the two-way game of Alperen Şengün and Kevin Durant. We saw that a little bit, and we saw them make adjustments a bit throughout the game, including, I believe it was in the first overtime, where you see Şengün and Durant stationed in the front court on a baseline out of bounds, but an out of bounds play, and you see that Chet Holmgren is matched up on Şengün, so Şengün goes over, sets the pick for Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant ends up getting the switch and getting Chet Holmgren on him. That seems that it was an adjustment that was made throughout the game, and certainly something that Ime Udoka is going to have to work with more, along with addressing some of these issues they might have with their depth. Although they are going to try to stagger Durant and Şengün's time on the floor. Durant played the entire first quarter, I believe, played 8 of the 12 second quarter minutes. They will have to address some of the scoring, some of the offense that will come off of their bench. Looking more at the Thunder, and Thunder is going to be my boring pick for winning the West again this season. They just look the most consistent. Their starting five, their top nine players with minutes all played on their championship team last year. Mike Daignault just has this luxury of this incredible Swiss Army knife of length and adjustment and size, and being able to switch, and this was all in this opening night game where they only had 11 turnovers, missing J Dub, Jalen Williams, but also missing players off the bench like Kendrick Williams and Isaiah Joe. Having players like Chet Holmgren foul out in overtime, having Isaiah Hartenstein foul out, just next man up mentality throughout this entire lineup, and they got the win. It was not the cleanest win overall, but overall, I think their ball security was really good. SGA is MVP form. Got to the line, was 10 for 14. That's um, a criticism I have of both games. No surprise that early on in the season, some of the free throw numbers are kind of kind of annoying sometimes. Mm, Although I guess the Golden State Warriors did shoot 26 for 29, but we will get to them. SGA had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, only 5 points in the first half, but then completely took over. Just Houston blitzed him early, sent doubles over at him a lot, but found those angles, used Chet in the short roll spots, and forced those rotations. So definitely orchestrating the offense through your best players there. And Chet Holmgren had a fantastic start to the game on both ends of the ball. I would say the rest of the starting lineup, Caruso, Wallace, Dort, SGA, they all cranked up the pressure in the second half. Had 24 turnovers forced and had 26 points off of them. And like I said, I expect Houston to make more adjustments to get Kevin Durant the ball more. It was still nice to see Kevin Durant as that sort of luxury that Houston has never had, and most people never have, of having just one of the top scorers of all time and being able to play against 23 seconds of good defense and then still find a spot to get up a shot. So we did see that, and despite players like Lou Dort making it really difficult for Kevin Durant still had 23 points. So just expect that to improve over time. And hopefully, Kevin Durant is ready to play some really big minutes this year. Chet Holmgren, as I mentioned, big game, had how many points in the first quarter for them? Had 13 points in the first quarter, 28 points overall, 7 rebounds, was very aggressive just coming out. Fell out late, but set the tone on both ends and was just helping initiate that offense. Uh, AJ Mitchell had 16 points in 14 minutes, so he had a huge game off the bench and just was able to fill in for missing Jada, missing your second or third best option on this team for any night. On the other end, Alperen Şengün, of course, had the biggest night for the Rockets, 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, with a career high 5 threes. For me, I was most impressed by just some of the playmaking that he was making, getting the offensive boards and then the kickouts. Had 7 assists on the night, and I think that he's just someone that we will see get triple doubles, get really high efficiency offensive nights. And for the rest of the league, I think it was a really big mistake putting Kevin Durant's mind next to Alperen Şengün and letting Alperen Şengün learn from KD for at least an entire season. It's clear that they're missing playmaking, and I think having Fred Van Vliet, who I've said on my podcast many times, I think is one of the most underrated point guards or just in general players in the league, would be a big difference maker for this team. So lack of a true point guard definitely hurts them. And then They have to figure out their depth. Seeing their big lineup was very fun, but then seeing players like Reed Shepherd have difficult nights makes me think that they need to find ways to make adjustments on both ends, really, and find out the rotations with their top two players, with Şengün and Kevin Durant. Thompson had a decent night, 18 points, 5 boards before his injury, and all in all, was very impressed by everything. Again, if they had Fred Van Vliet, they might have won this game in regulation. They might have made it more competitive. It's a lot of hypotheticals that we don't need to throw around right now. Just was really happy that basketball was back. Was pretty happy that we got double overtime. Although I was on my couch waiting for that game to be over, and I couldn't believe that it just didn't seem like it would stop. So I was locked into that game, and then that game finished finally going, I think, towards the end of the first quarter of the Warriors Lakers game. And I was more focused on the first game, but I do have some thoughts that I can share about the Lakers and Warriors before we get out of here for this little pre-show that we are doing. So, Warriors won 119 to 109. Warriors won by 10 points despite missing Moses Moody, was missing D'Anthony Melton as well. Lakers are missing LeBron James, of course, until at least they're saying mid-November. And Luka Doncic had a huge night with 43 points. Pretty worried about this Lakers team. It seems like it's kind of a theme with the LeBron era Lakers team, besides the season where they won a championship. And it seemed like a funny contrast with not having LeBron on the floor for the first opening night in his entire career, but also seeing Luca out there as the facilitator who plays a lot like LeBron, and then not always having the best shooters to facilitate to. So overall, I have a lot of questions about the Lakers offense, and Golden State looked great, honestly. I just have questions on their age and their depth, but I don't need to bore you with that. Maybe I do more of a breakdown in my show coming up next week. So, in this game, Jimmy Butler, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, was a perfect 16 of 16 from the free throw line, was just the most consistent throughout. Jonathan Kaminga looked awesome, had 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Definitely had a breakout game. Looked very smart on the basketball floor. Looked great on point of attack defense. Played as well as he could, I think, against Doncic in isolation. Steph Curry had 23 points, 4 assists, 3 steals, and no turnovers. Kind of a quiet 23 points from him, but had maybe the biggest shot of the evening, hitting the dagger to send the Lakers home. Buddy Hield had 17 points off the bench. Draymond Green had 8 points, and his plus minus of plus 20 was tied with the team high. Has a very efficient contribution from him. And overall, this is just, of course, a very high IQ team with lots of experience. And you can't say enough about having Draymond Green and Steph Curry on the floor together. Will Richard had a decent game for them with 5 points, and Al Horford had 5 points on 2 of 7 from from the field. Had 5 rebounds. I think it will take time to him for him to adjust to his reserve role on this team. But overall, I think um, outside of age, really, I don't really have much other criticisms of this team at this time. I think that they will have enough depth to compete in the Western Conference, it's just a matter of do they have enough offense compared to the juggernaut that is the Western Conference. So overall, very fun game. Strong season opener for the Warriors. 7 lead changes. Warriors stayed in the lead throughout almost the entire game. So strong opener for them, and we will see which sort of adjustments the Lakers make on offense, considering that it will at least be a few weeks before LeBron gets on the floor, and we will see if they have enough. Because I am worried about their depth on both sides. I'm worried about their size on defense. The fact that they could get Gabe Vincent on an island with Jimmy Butler and then not having the luxury to double or to switch always because you're playing the Warriors who just shot the ball great overall in this game. So let's kind of leave it there. Yes, it's going to be kind of a shorter, random, just giving my thoughts at the very late in the evening for me and getting ready for a podcast breaking down the Eastern Conference tomorrow. I just wanted to make this video saying that if you have been listening to me, thank you so much for listening again. If you're new here, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to try to provide more smaller breakdowns along with my bigger weekly episodes. And speaking of which, my next episode, we'll call it just my next season, will come out sometime Monday over in America when we have more games to watch. I think we have 13 games, if that's right, coming up this evening. So, gonna try to quickly get this out. Please like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things if you're on YouTube. I'm gonna put this up on Spotify because why not? I'm gonna call it episode 0. So, I hope you guys had a great NBA day, NBA evening, and I will catch you soon next time.